As a moving business owner, your day starts with a plan. But what happens when your movers don't show and that plan falls apart? Last minute no-shows. You're left to bootstrap, jumping in as an extra body. Yet sometimes, even that's not enough. This isn't just a disruption, it's a barrier to your business growth. Introducing Moving Force, your on-demand moving team. With Moving Force, say goodbye to no-shows and hello to peace of mind. With reliable, on-demand staff ensures you're never undermanned, turning your operational nightmares into a thing of the past. Moving Force, where every day is moving day and every move is smooth. Empower your business and keep growing without missing a beat. Join Moving Force today and move forward with confidence.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Mornings with Movers. Obviously, I'm Dwyght Mack with Max Movement Training and Moving Force. We got Ryan Marsh from Super Move. Yeah, we're going to be talking about life today and how it be lifing.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's been, it is June. So probably if you didn't catch this episode when it's live, it's probably going to be a few weeks out, but we're still in the summertime, I hope, when you see this video again. But yeah, no, life has been lifing. We've been, trying to get it all together here on our end at Moving Force, making sure that we have a good product for you guys to be able to use. But we are very, very close. And oh, okay. So yeah,
I'm still here. Still here.
and we are yeah, just making sure that we get the final bugs out for you Apple and Android users. So if you guys are in the New York, Pennsylvania, even Florida market, we will be in those areas very, very soon. And we already are working with our current customers to make sure that, hey, you know what, we can fulfill their labor needs. This is a self-service type of business or app. So, it's not like you have to reach out to us and say, hey, you got anybody that's available this day? No, you just go right on the app, put in a job request, and someone that is in that area will either accept or they won't. But we do our damnedest to make sure that, we can get somebody available for you. Um, and that's all I can really say, like, don't call me and say, hey, can you get on the horn and ask somebody? It's all self-service, so y'all don't have to wait on me to do anything for y'all.
Right.
Yeah, Ryan, how's everything been going on your end?
Because I had to shut the screen off quick because speaking about life, and I think we were talking off air here, the wife just cranked the music up in the room behind me here as she's working out or doing something. So I had to kind of give like can you turn it down a little bit? Please. Can you turn it down?
Like the next door neighbor, bang on the wall.
Yeah, I will literally right behind this wall here. But good Lord, I don't know if on the treadmill and you run on that thing, it just sounds like a gorilla in the in the back room. But that's like working from home,
Yeah.
There's a whole nother topic we could probably cover on. You like working from home?
I miss working from home. I haven't been able to really, really get into work in a long time. Like when I do have my days off, um, I'm usually trying to focus on some stuff business wise. And I'm just like, okay, what can I focus on? And no matter what task I get stuck on, I feel like it takes me so long to get stuff done nowadays. Like even if I have a time block, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do some video editing, from this time to this time. And then the video editing software starts to take its sweet time with cutting and doing all this stuff. I'm like, God darn it. All right, we're gonna have to cut it off at like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Where did time go?
Yeah. I love the work from home aspect. I feel like I get a lot more stuff done. Also, I feel like I could be a little bit more present for the family if there's something, a 10-minute task that needs to be done midday. It's not like I have to come home, drive home for lunch, use my lunch hour to knock out a task. But I will say the one thing that I struggle with is, when I used to work in an office, that 15, 20-minute drive home was like where I could how do you, what's the word? Like not depressurize, de,
Debrief or
yeah, debrief's another word, but damn, I'm having a mind blank, but you basically, you just kind of wind down the day on that drive home, right? You kind of slowly turn work off over that 15, 20-minute drive. Then you come home and you're good. Where at home, like, it's hard for me to turn it off,
Yeah.
because you're right here. And then I walk out this door right here and I'm in the, in a, what room is it? What do you call it? Start with the D. Dining room. Jesus, I'm having a hard time, man, with words. But
Let me just let people know we are live. Uh, let's see. Let's see.
live with no topic.
There's always a topic.
It's always something.
It's just basically, do you want to, continue to reiterate what you amazing movers already know, and what y'all need to be doing to thrive. You know, again, I've always been a big preacher of making sure that we dial in on the 5 principles of running a moving company.
Need a last-minute fill-in or facing an unexpected injury among your moving staff? No worries, Moving Force has you covered. Our app instantly connects you with trusted, professional movers who are ready to step in and handle urgent jobs whenever you need them. With our reliable network of vetted experts, you'll never be left short-handed. What are you waiting for? Download the app now and sign up for free now. Your stress-free move is just a tap away.
That's my biggest preach. So obviously this is the time of the year. If we're going to talk compliance, this is the time of the year that you guys want to be more in compliance. Making sure you guys are they have their certifications for being on the road. The drivers have their what is it called? Is it the MVR? I believe it is. That all drivers are compliant. They did their DOT physical.
Oh, the med cards?
Yeah, they got their Met cards. We used to schedule them to go to like an on-call, a little quick in place, go there, get their DOT physicals done, and then basically have that on file that they got their DOT physicals done, have their driver files done. And the driver files, I think, only has to be done once a year, but this is the time where you got some money, so you can do them around this time. Making sure that their driver abstracts are pulled. And usually we do that. We did that every quarter, but you only have to do it maybe once or twice a year. But we did it every quarter just to be up to speed on where these guys' licenses were. Because if anything happened between the windows of you doing their driver abstract, it's your fault as a moving company owner. And you're going to get a ticket for it or whatever the case is. And at the end of the day, it's not their fault. Well, it is their fault, but it's going to be on you. So just making sure you stay on top of that stuff. Make sure their driver files is in order in your in-house, or if you have a digital platform where you keep all of their files, just make sure that it's readily available if you ever get audited, because the DOT will audit you just specifically on driver files, driver logs, and I think that's primarily the main things they look at is the driver files and the driver logs is the
How
main.
often do they come around? And again, I'm all for safety and compliance. I'm not saying skip any aspect of that, but realistically, how often does a DOT audit happen with your moving company? I'm just trying to look back, and over my time, I think we had one audit in 12 years.
So it depends on how close you are to a DOT office. Because I think like if you're in Florida, it was Tallahassee, I think it was, that has, if I'm saying it right, they're the only place that has a DOT office in Florida. And there may be some hyper local DOT small offices, but the main one was in Tallahassee. And that's where you have to apply for your M number or whatever it's called down there. And for you to get an audit down there, it's like, are they willing to drive 2-3 hours to get to you? Depending on where you're at. So you may not see, as long as you're not doing anything that's crazy that, draws red flags, you may never see them. But
This is one of what triggers that DOT audit? There's a couple different red flags. Is there a bunch of complaints? Is it?
So road stop inspections can trigger it.
Yep.
So roadside Too many claims. So if people make claims and they really go above and beyond and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to DOT or whatever the case is, or I'm going to the BBB. Now the BBB, unless somebody deal from DOT is really monitoring your BBB, which I highly doubt, that may not cause a red flag. But like if they go to the level of going to the DOT to report you, that can cause a red flag. But it's very, very, very little things I feel like from a standpoint of you just doing your job will cause the DOT to come and audit you. But if they
Yeah,
do come and audit you, they're just going to really audit you. In New York State, they'll audit you based on did you charge the right prices based off what you told us that you would be charging.
I believe when they came in, they wanted like 10 locals, 10 intras. They wanted quite a few different jobs from us to take a peek at. So
Well, that
luckily we
depends
were,
if
we were
you're going to
super
get
prepared for them.
Yeah, that depends if you're going to get audited based on federal too. So if the federal auditor comes as well as the local auditor, yeah, they'll want to see what your federal rates are. But again, they're not technically they said you're supposed to have a federal tariff, but so many people don't have a federal tariff. And we all know that. Um, so I don't think they're like because they don't really care what you charge when it's going across state lines. They know that it's so many variable charges when it comes to going across state lines. They really care about, hey, let us see the last random 6 to 10 invoices that you've charged customers, and let's see if it lines up with what your tariff rates are. Now, the issue that you run into with that is, do you still have the same CRM when they come to audit you compared to you know, anything else. So like, oh well, hey, I changed from uh, I'm gonna say Super Move to Move It Pro or vice versa. I hate to throw names out there because everybody's good. But um, did you change CRMs? And if you change CRMs, did you get all of your old data from that CRM? And that's what most moving companies don't look into as well as record retention. Are you keeping your invoices from when you made a switch from one software to another?
Last minute crisis? We've got you covered. When your moving staff is short, Moving Force steps in. Instantly connect with a network of trusted movers ready to handle the job. Fast sign-ups, trusted network, reliable solutions. Don't let last minute issues slow you down. Help is just a tap away. Download the app and sign up for free today.
And I know that most softwares don't really upload all of your old information like documents. They might upload the customer's information like, hey, it was John Doe. You moved them on this date. There's no estimate information that carried over really. Well, there is for reporting purposes, but that's really it. It's just like a figure or metric so that basically the reports continue to add up properly. But as far as like your hard documents, like PDF documents of this person signing your bill of lading or any other documents that you may have had that customer sign, that doesn't carry over. So at the end of the day, that's the documents that DOT want to see. So we used to have to try to request that information from like a CRM if we was leaving them, and you hope that they give it to you because they're like, oh, well, you think you're not our customer no more, or
Well, they should. No, anytime anybody leaves or whatever, yeah, give them all the information. It's their info, right? Got to give it to them. Got to give it up.
But they sometimes charge you. They're like, hey, you could download it manually, each and every one for the last couple of years you've been with us, or we're gonna charge you to go and do the work to give you one big zip file.
Yeah, I think the right thing to do for that company at that time is give up the info. You should be charging them for it. There's a reason why they're leaving. They're not happy. You didn't do the right thing or what have you. And give them their damn info.
So, but yeah, no, so that's a compliance piece for the most part. Like just making sure your stuff is in order. Obviously you want to make sure your insurance is in order as well. Um, and shop around. If you got time to shop around for insurance quotes or whatever the case may be, workers' comp, general liability, do your shopping. I'd say probably once every 1 to 2 years, try to see if there's better options out there. Try to make sure that you don't have any reports that are any fines or anything. So like if you got a DOT ticket, even if it was a fix-it ticket or if it was like somebody actually just didn't do what they were supposed to do that day and you got a violation. That stuff I think does linger for like 3 to 5 years on your company's record. So whenever you go to get insurance, it could be the most littlest thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this company is a risk. And you're just like, what the hell? Like this happened like 3 years ago. Are we still holding on to that? Like we had a clean record for the last 3 years, but they don't care because it's like a driver abstract.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that on a personal level. We had a tree in a storm that was on the neighbor's property, fell down, wiped out the shed, wiped out a portion of the deck, the whole ordeal. Been dealing with this for just shy of a year now. And obviously our insurance went up along with everybody's insurance. So I started shopping around. They're like, well, you got a claim. Actually, you got a claim with I ain't gonna say the name, but SF is the name of the insurance agent I'm with, and I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, it was a neighbor's tree came down. There was like a little mass windstorm. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, neighbor's insurance wasn't going to cover it because they don't have the proper appropriate insurance. So I'm reaching out to get my stuff fixed, and yeah, it's been a nightmare. Like
And
I've
it's only
had
your problem. It was
same
only,
insurance forever, never made a claim. And now the one time I make a $5,500 claim or whatever the case is, they're giving me a whole bunch of shit.
yeah, that's crazy.
I
And
don't like insurance.
was the tree on your property line or their property line?
No, it was on theirs, but apparently I never gave. It was a healthy tree, right? So I never. Apparently, I was supposed to give notice to the neighbor to let them know, hey, if that tree ever falls down, like either you should trim it, cut it, or whatever, because if it falls down, it's going to cause damage. So if I would have wrote a letter and put them on notice, and then this happened, it would have been a whole different outcome.
That's
I'm like, who
bull.
who runs around writing their neighbors letters about, hey, if that tree falls down, like.
Yeah, that's the what ifs. Like, you know how many trees are in my backyard right now? Granted, I don't own this property, but nevertheless,
You're gonna worry about. But my thing, it's like, you know what? For 15 plus years, all of 15 plus years, home insurance, multiple vehicles on a policy, no claims, no this, paid on time every month, no issues, auto pay. And the one time I try to make a claim, it's just
yeah,
been a disaster.
they don't ever want you to make a claim. Just like having your auto insurance for your trucking company, they don't want you to make a claim. They don't want you to make a claim for general liability. Like general liability, they'll work with you, but they'll give you a hard time. They'll work with you. Auto insurance, oh, if you could shy away from that, because
Hmm.
like I said, getting new insurance is a nightmare once you make that one claim. And
Yeah,
they're not looking
I'm
at your
struggling
record.
with that same thing because our insurance just went up again. Good driving records, no history, minus the one household claim. And, they're like, hey, we'll hook you up with the auto, but you want to bundle your house up with this, like premium's going to go up because you made a claim. I'm like, this is crazy.
That's
Like, why
crazy.
have insurance
And
if
that's
you can't
because you
make a
got the
claim?
bundle, which is supposed to save you money.
If I bundle it goes up because of the $5,600, $5,500 home claim.
Mm, that's crazy. But why are we supposed to have insurance again? It's when they were like, oh yeah, we'll cover like with general liability. I don't think I've ever filed a claim, um, except for my last year in business out of the 10 years that I was in business. And luckily the last year that I was in business when I filed a claim, I wasn't worried about a renewal rate.
Yeah, and let's not even talk about I had to carry flood insurance here as well, which is insane. I got a dry creek bed 250 yards on the other side of the road, but because of the elevation of the creek, this, that, whatever, we're considered a flood zone. So it's like additional $800 a year, and it covers absolutely nothing unless the flood wipes the house off the foundation. Like,
Yeah, you
where's the
gotta.
coverage?
So when you guys get your general liability policy, scrub through it. That is a recommendation on my part. Scrub through it and actually see the individual limits that they will pay out per incident. So, like I had let's say a cyber issue claim that I had to make with my general liability. And with the cyber issue, they were like, "Oh, well, your cyber coverage is only out of the $1 million in total coverage that you were willing to allocate, with the 2 million aggregate. We're with the cyber issue, we're only going to be paying like $15,000 out. Hmm, what the heck? But I thought I can claim up to 2 million if I needed to. No, that obviously every situation has limits. And so all of the situations, let's say you had 20 situations, all those 20 situations add up to the 1 million to 2 million aggregate. And I was like, that's how they get you. Because nobody's sitting there going through it, trying to really pencil, oh, well, if this situation happens, oh, well, they'll cover up to this. Let me make sure that it falls underneath this category. So just scrub through your stuff, make sure you're reading. I know it's a lot of literature, a lot of documentation before you sign and pay your general liability. So in most cases, you're just saying, hey, if I'm covered, good, let me just get this coverage. But hey, it could be the same thing with cargo. Cargo in New York State was like, hey, have a limit of $2,500 for cargo. But in the case that something happens, are they going to cover you up to the whole 2,500, or are they going to give you headaches about what part of it they're going to cover?
Hey everybody, my name is Dwyght Mack with Mack's Moving Training. So we're going to be doing a move and a pack today. But before we go in, there's just 10 basic rules that we just need to know before participating with this service. So number one, understand moving is a very, very stressful thing. The customer, they're uplifting their life from one location to another. They're having to call all these vendors and get all these suppliers in place so that basically they can make that transition. So their stress level is at the highest right now. We need to be a service provider that comes in and basically keep that stress level mitigated or very low. Come in as professionals and do our job the way we know how to do our job so that this customer is less stress during that move process. Number two, be on time. First impression is everything. You guys showing up outside of the window rubs the customer the wrong way. It messes up the rest of the move process. Even if you guys do the best job y'all can do, because one thing was off, this customer's mood is just off. Go up and beyond, be there before the time, as long as they're okay with it.
Yeah. So
I don't even like talking about insurance.
yeah.
Put me to sleep.
Nah, I hear you. All right. So wake up, y'all. All right. So
There's some more coffee after that.
all right. So just as a heads up, y'all, we got some good events going on this year. From what I've been hearing, keeping my ears to the ground. We got the Titans retreat coming up from September 10th to September 12th. It looked like everybody's going to be in attendance for that event. You guys don't want to miss out. Ticket prices are reasonable right now. Had a chance to speak with Faith, which is, again, she's an awesome person. And the ticket prices are really good for, you and whoever you choose to bring. And outside of that, I know they do have an ATA event going on in California. Ryan didn't, speak too highly about that one, but if
Oh, wait, whoa, say that again?
the
What's
one
going on?
the ATA event that's out in Cali in I think September.
Now, ATA is September 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's Call on Washington. That's a great event.
Okay. Oh no, I thought there was one that was going on in California this year. I thought it was saying in September.
No, usually ATA is they do something. They're dual offices, one on the hill and then one just off the hill, and then the other one this year or upcoming year is going to be back in Nashville again in 2026, which is the ATA MSC conference. That's a great one to
Okay.
go to.
So and then I think there is I think what is it? Tim Corrupt might be having one in October, I heard, but it's a smaller one, so I don't know if it's going to be something that's public or whatever the case is. But yeah, no, there's definitely some more events to finish off this year. So definitely keep an eye out for these moving events, guys, because these moving events will get you to that next level. It's just all what you take away from it. Don't think about the dollar amount you're investing. Think about the network that you're going to meet. Obviously, these are all movers, so don't try to go and market like, oh, well, hey, we're a mover in this, blah, because you're all movers. But take away the relationships. Take away, hey, you know what? We got a long distance move, and I know a moving company in Atlanta, and we're in New York. So what we could do is we could load you up. If you drive down there, we can have that company unload you, which will save you tons of money. So that's the kind of network you could kind of have where you can help a consumer save money and seal a deal.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, any of these events, I mean, come armed with questions. You know, speak on the Titan behalf. Like, there's guys there that are doing a couple $100,000 a year, and there's guys that are doing double-digit millions. So come armed with questions, your problems, your pain points, and I'd say do a little due diligence before you get to the event. Find out who you're looking to speak with. If you're a $1 million company looking to take it to 2 or 3, find a guy who's in that $2-3 million range and find, hey, and ask the questions. You know, what it take for you to get from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or what have you. I mean, so much value there. You got to come armed with questions. If you just pay the money and you show up and you have a good time, yeah, you're going to come home with something, but you got to plan and prepare for these events just like you would with a peak season. Have a game plan. Who are you going to meet? What are you going to talk about? Where do you want to take those relationships down the road? I mean, I'd have an absolute game plan before I went to any of these events if I was a mover. I mean, we do it on the vendor side, but as a mover, I mean, I'd be super strategic as to who I talked to, who I met, who I had dinners with, drinks with, et cetera, et cetera.
And you never know, again, you never know who you will meet. So the way, and I haven't been to one of those big events by the Titans yet, but it looks like it's very similar to the similar setup to how Louis Mazzaro used to run his events. So if it is kind of like the seating and very, very similar to that, then I would recommend that you guys every time, like for the 3 days or 2 days, how many days they're doing presentations, that you guys find somewhere different to sit with a different company each time. So basically, you know, obviously if you're talking to them in between, you know, guest speakers or whatever the case is, you're learning something newer for the industry and the way someone else may be doing stuff versus just sitting where somebody you feel comfortable with, and you're kind of like you're taking in the information, but there's so much gems that these guest speakers just can't drop that you're just getting just by speaking to someone.
I always said that, you know, magic's made at breakfast in the morning and in the bar at night. Like, yeah, the speakers are great. You take a lot in, but I always felt like the real magic happened, you know, with those deep conversations that are typically rooted somewhere. It doesn't have to be a bar, right? It could be at a lunch table or a dinner table or something like that. But I follow your rule, Dwight. Like, when I go to these events, I sit with different people at all times. Now, yes, are there times where there's a big group and I'm like, you know, it's the end of the thing. I just want to sit with some people that I know really, really well. Sure. But that's once I've checked the boxes as to who I needed to contact prior to. But yeah, man, musical chairs, always sitting in a different chair trying to meet different people.
And we, when we were last time, I think I went to one of these big events. We were in Arizona, and we went to a house party, like essentially like a house party at night or so, like a networking party. And one, I was fascinated by the house. I think they might have rented the house, but the house was huge, beautiful. Back patio with a fire pit, and they had snacks, you know, catering and everything like that. And we just sat there. We talked about moving, and one guy said he had a call center that was like in New York City or whatever the case is, and you know, we were just exploring the sales tactics and stuff like that. And it was just like amazing vibe where it's like, hey, there's not work pressure. You're just having great conversation. People are sharing their side of the business. And they're like, well, hey, I probably wouldn't do that, but I'll probably be able to do this if I have my company or whatever the case is. And it's kind of like they're not shooting down your idea, but they're telling you that there's other ways probably to be more efficient in your moving company if you ask them a specific, you know, topic or whatever.
Number 3, make sure your team is in uniform, they're groomed, their hygiene is checked, you know, because that's the worst thing you could do, especially going in a house. Customer can smell your guy from a mile away, and now, again, their mood is just thrown off. So make sure that you guys are in uniform, you're tight, you know, you have uniform shirts, you know, it doesn't look like, you know, you have a laborer that's, you know, hired from off the street. Presentation is everything that goes towards your first impression. Number 4, introduce both you and your partner when greeting a customer. Don't just go to the door by yourself, you know, while your driver is unloading the truck and introduce yourself. Actually have both of you there. Introduce yourself first, then introduce your partner second, and then, you know, allow them to welcome you into their home.
So yeah, I love these networking events because I've always came away with some sort of insight that I was like, oh, I can't wait to run it back to my team.
There's always something that can be brought back. Always. Like game change.
So yeah, let's see. All right, so if y'all do have any questions or whatever the case is, definitely throw them in here. We could definitely answer them. It doesn't matter as long as it's moving related, you know. But other than that, what else is going on in the industry, Ryan?
Have you heard anything on the military?
No, I don't never hear anything on military, but I know residential has been, still slowing down, so people are trying to still diversify a little bit.
I'd say, man, still 80% of the folks I'm talking to right now are actually things are looking up. Things are good.
So again, it all depends. I think it all depends on your marketing and what have you been focused on. Um, it's always been that way. Some moving companies are struggling in this time of year still because, of carrying the winter's debt into the summer and then the summer not giving you what it's supposed to be given. So some people are still struggling. And with that, it comes down to, did you really dial down your marketing because you went into the summer? And I get it. Some people might dial down, oh, well, you know what? We don't want to pay this much to Yelp, or we don't want to pay this much to this. And Yelp, obviously how that's always been. People frown away from Yelp like it's a bad plague. But, at the end of the day, we used to get jobs from Yelp. I think Yelp was probably our third busiest lead provider.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we paid only like say $400 a month to get the volume during the winter months, and then like if we went to dial it down, we would just go to free in the summer months because it's like you're going to still get customers. It was just basically being present during the slower part of the year. Google ads never slow down. You always keep your budget with Google ads. Uh, SEO, obviously you can't cut your budget with SEO. You need to keep that budget. Third-party lead providers, that's naturally going to slow down. Well, sorry, no, I'm sorry, I lied about that. Third-party lead providers are always going to cost you more money because now you're going to get a lot more influx of volume. So at the end of the day, you're going to spend more with them. So there's no, oh, let me dial the water valve back a little bit so it drips less in marketing wise in the summer. No, you're going to get more for what you're paying in the summer months because now people are going to be really looking at those sources that you're using to book you more. But don't forget about senior moving either. Seniors always need to move into like these facilities during this time of year. So if you can get with a senior broker who deals with this area, that might be in your favor to get you some more volume for this time of year. We used to move a lot of seniors from their homes into like the living assisted facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
again,
did a ton of those.
they can't, you don't want to break the bank with these people, like, oh well, hey, we're gonna charge them $5,000. Like obviously they're retired, but they're not low margins either.
No. And to me, what I found with the senior, because I've noticed, I've talked to quite a few moving companies. Oh yeah, we do seniors. I'm like, well, how do you handle those moves a little bit differently? And they say, well, we don't. It's, same this, same that. And we handle the senior moves a little bit differently. I would say it was much, much slower pace was our big thing. The moves definitely generally costed a little bit more. We didn't just send a mass crew into the house, scrape it up, box it up, and then deliver. It was just too overwhelming for the folks. So there were times we did it in a couple different parts, pack up different portions of the home, move them over. So it was a little bit different for us with those senior moves, but we did really, really well with it. And the seniors truly enjoyed that extra special hand holding in a really difficult time. Because a lot of these folks, they're leaving homes that they've been in for 40, 50, 60 years. They can't bring it all, but how difficult is it to sit there when you're a packer, you're the homeowner that's been there for 50 years trying to determine what do you bring, what do you not bring? You know, you don't want to throw out this because that could have been the late great husbands or the kids, or you just don't know. So I always found that we would pack up some things and then unpack a couple things, then repack a couple things. So it was definitely challenging at times. I feel like the crews need to have a little bit more patience than a typical move. But at the end of the day, they were willing to pay a little bit more to have a slowed down service.
Yeah. And I forget what the organization is called, but it starts with a C. For like a networking place. I forget what it's called. It'll come back to me. But make sure again you're networking in your local area. It's dang, it's every city has the chapter. It's I
The
think
chamber?
yes, chambers.
Chamber of Commerce?
Yes. So make sure that you guys are, if you can join your local chambers of commerce, join them. But before, do your homework. Make sure that, they're kind of active chapter. If they're not really active where they have like networking events or whatever the case is, it may not be to your benefit just to be on the list. I just never I've never ever went on a Chamber of Commerce website to look for service, so.
Different clientele. I feel like the ones that reach out there are the ones that have a little bit more money. They're a little bit more established. They're used to that chamber gig. The chamber for me was huge, but again, it was a very active chamber. Every Thursday, there was Wednesday, Thursday, there was business after business. There was all sorts of community affairs, events, things like that of that nature. Plus, one thing that they allowed us to do, and again, I was on the business roundtable. I was also on the ambassador committee. So I volunteered. I assisted with these events. I spoke at these events, introduced people at these events. But what was really cool is they have like packages. So if you're moving to the area, I was blown away about how many people reach out to the chamber ahead of time, moving into a new area to say, hey, what are the restaurants like? What are the schools like? What's this, that? So we have one of our cool pamphlets inside of that package. And they do a couple hundred a year. Now, how many moves did we get out of that? I was able to track a couple of them, but again, if they don't call and mention the pamphlet this or call that particular number that's on there that allows us to track it,
Yeah.
another story, but it worked really, really well for us. But you have to put the time in. If you just sign up for the chamber and just put your name on the list there, like it's not gonna do anything for you.
Yeah. And I
You get
realized
what
that, like I
you
said, I didn't find any active New York chambers. Like I did eventually once, I learned from Florida's Chamber of Commerce. But I think the capital region in the Albany area, the capital region, the main one is the most active one. Like there's little ones like, like Troy's Chamber of Commerce or whatever the case is. They're not as active. Like they have some sort of events here and there. They allow you to, if you want to have a conference or a training or whatever the case is, where you want to have like some sort of event, they do have a free room that you have to, obviously reserve being a member of the chambers, but it won't cost you anything, outside of your membership.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I hear about because I get in this chamber conversation quite a bit, and it's I feel really blessed to and shout out to the Chemung County Chamber of Commerce here, as well as the Corning, as well as the Watkins Glen, the Steuben County Chamber, because those guys twice a year would get together, actually 3 times a year. They would have a combined chamber meetup, so you'd have the Watkins Glen, you'd have the Corning in Elmira in the Chemung County all have one gigantic party, which is great. So now you're getting a different outreach, right? And then the next one that we'd have would be in Corning, but you'd have the Elmira or the Chemung Chamber, Schuyler Chamber, and Steuben Chamber. And the third one, we'd actually have it up in Watkins Glen, which is the Steuben one there. And it was great because you got to mix and mingle with other chamber members. Your network just kind of tripled. But again, it really goes back to if you're not participating, jump on ambassador committee, volunteer a couple hours here and there. You will absolutely reap the benefits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you entry level how to start dominating your hometown.
Yeah, and like I said, so I always go back to the Florida one because the Florida one really impacted me. But with the Florida chambers, every Thursday or Wednesday, we met up at their obviously at the chamber's office, and there was breakfast. There was breakfast and networking. There was a lot of people there. There was sponsors there, whoever sponsored the breakfast for that event. The chambers was always updating us on what events we were was to expect for that month or the month after. Um, I think one of the events took place at KFC. Networking event took place at KFC in the morning. So they opened KFC super early just for the event, not for the public.
Would they have like chicken breakfast sandwiches or something?
Yeah, they hosted breakfast at KFC,
Ooh, you
and
know
we
they had to be expensive. KFC is not cheap.
well, we had to pay for it. So
I tell you what, and I'm not sitting here talking about chicken brands or whatever, but that crispy, crunchy clucky. I don't know if you had that chicken before. I'm probably not even saying it right, but you find them in a gas station near you. At least you do in our area. It's some of the best chicken I've ever had, and it's like half the price of KFC. I'm sorry, the breading's better, the chicken's better. Now where they cook it is a little bit suspect, but it's good. But yeah, I'm taking crispy, crunchy clucky or whatever you want to call it all day over KFC. And their sandwiches are even better. I put it up to Chick-fil-A's.
so they had this meme the other day. I thought it was pretty funny. I guess oh no, it was an ad on Facebook. I guess this and I'll say a guy. It was this black guy who was,
Oh,
opening.
you bring in color into it
I
now.
have to because it's the best way to explain it. But he was opening a Chinese restaurant, and see exactly my point.
You gonna get me in trouble, Dwight. I gotta hear the rest of this one. All right, so we got somebody opening a now this makes sense why you threw that out there. Because you say, hey, someone so's opening a Chinese restaurant. Like, okay, I have an image in my mind, but what you just threw out, I gotta hear this.
So he was opening a Chinese restaurant. It was a comedy behind it, but he was
What's
like,
it called?
I don't know what the ad was called, but I was just passing by it and I was watching it for a good while, and he was like, "Yeah, so we don't have to worry about the tariffs because all of our food is locally bought, locally owned." And
With
then
cats?
yeah, you see him holding cats up and dogs. And
Oh, don't have to worry about the terrorists. We just got oh man.
so yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I want to know what would the name of it be?
I think he was describing it as like a buffet name or some sort. I gotta find that ad.
I gotta know what that name of that restaurant is because it can't be like a typical. I don't even know. I guess.
So my friend went to a Chinese restaurant in Brooklyn years ago, and when he walked into the Chinese restaurant, I guess it was owned by black people, and they was like, "Can I help you?" And he was like, "Absolutely not," and he walked.
Absolutely not.
So,
I mean,
things certain people.
hey, I don't care who owns what, right? Is the food good and is the food consistent?
I think it's a culture thing, and it should be ran by the people that said they was gonna make it.
So, so I guess this conversation, I like this. This can go anywhere, but so you think restaurants should be culture based, right? Which makes sense, right? You got me, white guy, sub shop, right?
Well,
Or pizza.
pizza Italian, which makes sense.
Okay. So what are you opening up then?
I would have to do a soul food restaurant, I would think.
I can't even, I feel like I can't comment because whatever I say, someone will be like, oh, he just said that. You ain't trapping me, Dwight.
But then there
Even though
are,
you know me well enough, that's not the case. But I ain't gonna, mm-mm, mm-mm.
like I don't know. I just obviously has food not ever always been culture based. Like if you go to Indian cuisine, do you expect to see anybody besides Indians?
Yeah, I can't even. I have so many things going through my mind right now of different businesses that you could potentially do, but I cannot.
It's like, oh, well, hey, you want some empanadas? And you go to a Spanish restaurant and you see a black person making it. Like, it
Chicken
could probably be
empanadas,
good.
right?
It could probably be good, but you don't go to a Jamaican restaurant looking for a Jamaican patty and get it from a different culture.
You know the empanadas are gonna be fried hard as hell.
Probably. But
Oh
yeah,
man. Is it
so
the top of the hour yet? No, it's not. Man, you got Chinese restaurants, KFC, crispy, crunchy, clucky. What are we doing here?
so James said Ryan has to come back to Tennessee for some chicken. Um, and then he says should name it Rush Hour Black slash Chinese.
Attaboy James, always chiming in when I need him the most. Oh, rush hour. That actually.
That, you know
Well,
what?
actually, my question would be because, oh man, this might come off horrible. I'm gonna say it anyway because we're just having some fun here. Every time I order Chinese, right, from we're gonna say your standard Chinese restaurant, it's ready in how long?
10 minutes, 15 minutes, all the time.
So if I order it from Rush Hour Chinese, if I order it from Dwight's Chinese shop, is it gonna be 10 minutes
Shit.
or is it gonna
Oh
be
my
late?
God.
You gonna be a half hour late, ain't you?
Yeah, we got backed up. You know? Like it's just like this one restaurant. They said it was really good out here. I guess it was supposed to be like a soul food restaurant.
Oh God.
That's the thing. And yes, I'm gonna throw it out there because it's coming from my culture. So they tell you, oh yeah, order this food, here's our hours or whatever the case is. But black people don't ever stick to the hours of operation. Um, so I'm like, all right, it says on Grubhub that they're open until 8 o'clock, but apparently they close at like 5 or 6 o'clock.
Do we have a spitting image restaurant in town, which unfortunately I've yet to been able to try? Everybody leaves incredible reviews, but their hours are like 10 to 8, right? 10 in the morning, 8 p.m. I can go there at 10:15. I can go there at 7:30. I can go there at noon. There's always a handwritten sign on the door. Sorry, we closed for a few hours. I'm not gonna tell you who owns it, but it is a soul food place. And it is the pictures they put out, the food, look, everything's homemade, everything is just absolutely incredible. But you don't ever know when they're open. You
No,
never know. You just gotta catch them when you catch them.
no, it was funny because when I had my office in Troy, it was a small little office. Downstairs, the hot dog traveling guy came around with the little truck. And if you're from the city, New York City, obviously the hot dog guys used to be really good. You have those good deals with the Franks, where you can get 2 Franks and a drink, and it'd be really good. So when you see them in Troy, you're like, oh snap, I got to get me a hot dog for lunch or whatever the case is. Even though now it's negatively associated if a guy's eating a hot dog or whatever.
Glizzy.
Huh?
Glizzy.
Yeah, that's what they call it too. I'm
Glizzy.
like,
Yeah, I don't know the term hot dog. Everyone's hot. I'm like, no, it's glizzy.
so,
Two
so,
Z's.
um, but yeah, so one day, like we started getting into a habit of, oh yeah, this guy's going to be downstairs at like 2 o'clock. We're going to get lunch and whatever the case is, and then he just magically disappears. And one of my workers, he's getting furious. He was like, "Where the hell is that hot dog man? Why the hell is he not there? Why did he make up his own weird hours?"
Dude, for $4, go buy yourself a pack of ballparks, and then for 99 cents, get some buns. That's it.
Yeah, but nobody wanted to make that.
I tell you, I haven't made a hot dog in a while, but I always take like a half a can of beer, pour it in, and boil the beer, and then boil the hot dogs in beer to kind of warm them up.
What the heck?
Eat it. That must be a white thing.
Yeah. Well, you're a beer drinker, so that's
Well, I don't. Here's the thing: is I wouldn't put them in IPA. I only drink IPAs in red wine. I don't drink like the Blue Light, Bud Light, whatever. But the last time I did do a hot dog, it was Blue Light. It was like 3/4 of a can of Blue Light. Put it in there. It gives it this extra. I don't know. I don't really. Does it do anything? I don't know.
drunk after you finish the hot dog.
Mm. Little onions and some mustard on that bad boy.
So I know people mentioned, um, James said that's white as fuck.
The hot dog with the beer. He's
Yeah.
in Tennessee right now on top of a mountain. I don't want to hear it. Tell him he's got to go check his goats out. Go milk the goats, James. I
Um,
think I'm pretty sure. Hopefully that's the right James I'm talking to.
yeah,
James
Bradley.
B. Okay, all right. We'll make sure we hit the wrong James up now.
But no, dang, that threw me off. Um, yeah, no. Oh, so that they
What?
mentioned. the weed butter. Like people use like weed butter and put it on their fried chicken or whatever the case is. I've never ever had it, but I heard people say amazing things about it.
I've heard people put it in like their pasta sauce. Like it's anything. I actually watched this show. I don't even know if it's still on. It's been quite a few months, but it was almost like weed etiquette,
Mhm.
etiquette or something like that, where it was like a legit cooking show where everything that they made, everything was infused with THC. It was like a 5, 6 course meal, everything from the appetizer to this to like even the drinks.
Mm.
Like it's pretty cool. Like I think there's so much more to it than, and again, it wasn't tallied up where, hey, you're gonna go ahead and eat this bun and you're gonna be like everything had a purpose throughout the experience of dinner. So, but the only
Yeah.
problem is I feel like when you eat stuff, it takes forever to kick in. I'm not an edible person, so I can't really speak too much on that stuff. Um, I feel that everyone tells me it takes a long time. So you eat a cookie, and then 45 minutes later, you feel it.
See, so
I
that's
don't
why I've
like
always
that.
been a Jack person, a Jack Daniels person, because I feel like I didn't never want that
You smoked it?
immediate. Hmm?
You smoked Jack Daniels?
No, drink.
Oh,
No way.
I said, how the hell did you do that?
But no, so I've always been a Jack Daniels person because I feel like it's one of those buzzes that creep up on you and it winds off. Whereas if you drunk vodka or tequila, you're going to get instantly drunk probably by your third or fourth shot.
See, that's what Tito's does to me. I don't mess with no damn tequila. I'll tell you right now. Last time I did it was with a guy named Don Arroyo from oh gosh, I got his towel over here. Rainier overseas. He's a big tequila guy, and he gave me a couple shots of that stuff in Arizona a couple months ago, and it was probably the best tequila I ever drank. Didn't taste like tequila, but that's just not. I had three of them, man. I was ready to do cartwheels down the street in Mesa. Just too much. Just puts me in a whole different. Like I said, do cartwheels in the room. Couldn't fall asleep at night. Like this was taking a shower at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like just couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of light liquor. I think like I was like when they used to have the Smirnoffs and people used to frown on Smirnoffs, but Smirnoffs are really good.
See now, you like that. You got that sweet tooth.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with a green apple Smirnoff or a strawberry Smirnoff or
Remember, I used to slug down some Zimas back in the day and put Skittles in them. Remember Zimas?
I don't know what that is, but that sounds like death putting Skittles in anything that's alcohol.
I feel like Zima is like the original. You have all these seltzers nowadays, and it was like a clear alcoholic, a little bit of carbonation, a little bit of flavor. You have to look it up. I think you can still buy it.
Okay.
But that
I,
was like that paved the way, I feel like, for all these seltzers.
I
That
think
was like the OG.
I think after having 100 proof vodka, I stopped. That's where I kind of stopped drinking so crazy.
So
'Cause-
you wouldn't like bourbon. I like bourbon, and some of that stuff's 120, 140 proof. So you just have a smidgen of a sip, and you're just like, you lit.
Yeah, no, nope, nope. I'm like, nope. I do Fireball now and just Jack Daniels. Fireball is amazing. You got to mix it with Kahlua. If you mix it with Kahlua, it is actually. And sorry, we're talking about alcohol on here, y'all, but we ain't got no kids listening, so we should be okay. But
Fireball and rum shata makes like cinnamon French toast.
I was gonna say the Kahlua did. That's the
Yeah,
milk
you got to try the rum shata.
rum
Yeah,
chop.
Kahlua in that I can see that, but try it kind of same thing, but has a little bit more of a
Okay.
cinnamon flavor to it. Cinnamon. Yeah, it's got sounds like we've been drinking on the show this morning.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really good too. You just gotta be careful because it'll curdle if you don't mix it right.
So no, I would say definitely. And I hate chasers, but sometimes if you drink Fireball on ice or Jack on ice, well, Jack you
Yeah,
shouldn't.
dude, Fireball, man, just that brings you back to being like 16. Just
And don't drink too much Fireball on ice because if you drink like we downed the whole bottle one time, it was just a few of us, but we downed the whole bottle in one sitting. Oh man, talk about waking up with a hangover.
oh, all the sugar in that. I can't. Now, Jack Fire. I can rip that a little bit, but man, Fireball, Not on the golf course. The guy buys around of four of those little shots or something like that. You get a birdie. It's birdie juice, absolutely. But no,
Did you ever play the 18 holes on the golf course? And well, I know you didn't do it in the New York conference, but. just in general on a golf course?
I always play 18. Well, I usually play, yeah, you always play 18, but you talking about like drinking on the course?
No, just playing the 18 holes. I'm like, I thought it was only nine because I never played it before.
You ain't Tiger, you ain't Tiger Woods. You Tiger wish
Oh,
you could.
and I couldn't even hit the ball that far, so I was really mad because every time I hopped in the golf cart, I didn't go that far.
No, if I go out and play around my, go out with the kid or something like that, I'll play a quick nine, get it done just over an hour, hour and 15 minutes. But generally, yeah, you're playing 18.
Yeah, so Bradley said me and him are soul brothers, Fireball and Jack.
James got some soul, man. There is no doubt about it.
So, but
He
no,
would drink Fireball though. I did see him drinking red wine at the ATA dinner last year. He felt out of
he was trying
he
to take
felt
it
out of
easy.
place.
He was trying
His
to take it
pinky
easy.
wasn't in the air high enough. He didn't know how to hold a damn wine glass.
See, he was holding off. He was like, I'm going to do this for y'all, but I
Only
really,
person I ever seen drink wine with two hands on the wine glass like this. I'm like, you can't do that. You got to grab it down here by the stem, have your pinky up, and just give it that little. He had no idea. He didn't. He wasn't even swishing it or swirling it. He didn't smell it. None of that.
did you now? Do you could is a person considered an alcoholic if they're drinking Jack out of one of those glass boots? Now it's not a dirty glass boot; it's a clean one. But
Well, are you considered an alcoholic if you drink wine out of a 16-ounce pint glass?
six.
I th
Are you drinking it all?
Once you pop a bottle, Dwight, you can't let it sit. It's like Pringles. You
You
open
gotta
up,
put the cork back in and put it in the fridge.
you can't see. I do. I always get my wine out, pull the cork out, and then one or two things. I either pour it into another jar just to kind of let it breathe, or I have this real cool little cap on it. So as you're pouring it, it actually allows the wine to breathe better.
Mm.
But yeah, typically you open a bottle of wine, you should let that thing sit for a little bit, let the gases come out.
Interesting. See, I don't have a wine cellar. So I know a lot of people have those little wine cellars in their house where they keep, these fine bottles of wine or alcohol drinks that age so well. And they're like, yeah, I got this 1966 bottle that I've been saving for this special occasion. What the hell?
Dude, I got this weird, I don't know what it is with like our countertops at our house, but like if I put a full bottle of wine down on the counter, dude, within a couple hours, that bottle's gone. Like there's nothing. So I don't know what's going on in our house, but I definitely don't have a wine cellar. I just, to collect wine and save it for a special occasion to drink, like there's always special occasions. There's always,
What you make of it?
yeah.
Oh,
No, but I do. We used to move a lot of wine around for a client. Like when I say like 20, $30,000 bottles, like their low end bottle was 2,500 bucks. It was a 15-year-old, it was a 15, 20-year-old Camus, which is an incredible wine, right? You can get a Camus bottle for about 100 bucks, 89 bucks for one of the newer ones, but you get one of them old school bottles, woo, 2,500 beans.
yeah. So a special occasion. I was thinking, I was like, since it's, there's always a good situation, be like, oh, hey, the baby did good at daycare today. We should drink to that.
Yeah, I made it through the tech software world today. Where's my bottle?
So there's always an occasion. It's what you make of it.
No, I
But
just never could tell the difference, man, between I got buddies that are in this industry and a $500 bottle of wine versus a $20 bottle of wine. I can't tell you the difference. Oftentimes I'll pick the cheaper wine out. I'm like, this is the better wine, but I'm not a sommelier. Is that how you say it?
I don't know what you're trying to say, but I don't. That's what.
Sommelier. That's one who is like a professional in wine, right? A sommelier. Sommelier.
That's beyond me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it starts with an S and ends with an air.
If it ain't an A for alcoholic, I don't know.
You, you just stick to your Fireball and Chinese, Dwight. We'll just
Yes. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. I had Chinese for my wedding.
Did
Hmm.
you really?
Yeah. They thought, oh, you're gonna have all this, grilled chicken stuff, and you know how they have those little trays, chicken, fish, or whatever the case might be for entrees at a wedding. And then I'm like, nope, I'm
You
going.
had a big old pile of chicken lo mein and fried rice, pork fried rice.
I had barbecue. No, I had boneless spare ribs. I had fried chicken. Um,
Chinese does fried chicken?
yeah, they got expensive with the chicken wings now.
You know, I didn't know. I'm gonna ask my local Chinese place if they have fried chicken.
I,
Maybe they do. I don't know.
I think I spent over $800 on Chinese food.
Dude, you should went to Crispy Crunchy. You could have had
So,
the mac and cheese, the little biscuits that they have, the rice.
and then the funny part was, so while I was making my order with the Chinese person, we actually sat at a table. We were doing a conference for while I was thinking about my order for what I need for my wedding. And she was like, after I got all of the items, she was like, "Did you want egg rolls?" Hell no, this gonna be expensive.
You don't
So,
like egg rolls? See, I like egg rolls. I put a whole tube of soy sauce in there, and then I get that spicy mustard and just start.
so the funny part is I called my wife, my fiance at the time, but I called her and I'm like, hey, yeah, here's what I ordered. Here's the menu. Oh, and then she says, did you get any egg rolls? And then the
Did
Chinese
you? What
person
about
heard
wonton soup? I like to make some. I don't know what that meat is in the middle of that noodle though, but it's good. It's
that.
not beef.
You know, it don't look like it.
No, no, it looks like a fruit strip all curled up. Mm,
So James was a little mad at you. He's like, don't tell people that he was holding his wine glass with two hands.
that's it. That's two hands, James.
But no, so yeah. Again, we are at the top of the hour, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation about culture-based food. You know, until I see differently and people like really getting into it different from a different culture.
It's a cultural episode. I hope none of us get in trouble for this.
But continue to go out there, continue to crush it, y'all. In the moving industry, this is the summer months, so make sure your marketing is dialed in. Do not turn down the valve of your marketing water right now. Keep it going. This summer will pick up if it hasn't yet. And I know some of y'all are slammed, so keep those doors open. Use moving force if you need labor to keep these jobs flowing. Don't cap off because you guys like, oh, well, hey, we are at our max. We're sending all of our best guys out on every job. Break them up. If they're your best guys, maybe let's say that you had four A teams. If you take on some contractors or whatever the case is, it may bring the caliper of that team down to maybe a B because you're not sacrificing a lot. You're just spreading your labor force out so you could take on a little bit more opportunity. But yeah, Ryan, anything on your part?
No, good. You actually got me thinking about food. I'm hungry. I'm like, do I get Chinese or fried chicken today for lunch? I don't know what I'm gonna do.
How
But
often do you eat subs now that you work in a sub shop?
I haven't had a sub. Actually, the last sub I had was in Detroit's airport from Subway. And
Okay,
it was like
not impressed.
there's just no damn meat, man. There's no meat. They have one piece of cheese cut in half, like I don't know, I paid like $12 for it. So I was rather disappointed, but the sub before that, I think I had Jersey Mike's, but I think it's one of the things where once you get in the business of something, like it's whether I owned a pizza place, a Chinese, like you can only eat so much of it. You see it, you touch it, the bread, the this, to that. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
you know. Every once in a while, I get a craving, but no, it's good, man. You don't want to eat your own product, right? I mean, you do want to eat your own product, but you don't want to eat it all. You got to sell it.
That's
It's like an
very
old
true.
drug dealer, right? I feel like
Yo, but we don't want to go down that topic.
no, we ain't going there. We already hit that up earlier.
Yeah.
So
All right, y'all. Y'all keep crushing it out there. We'll see y'all hopefully next Thursday. Remember July 10th is the reunion episode. So we're gonna have all of our past guests come back. We got a crazy lineup, crazy gems to be dropped. So just keep an eye out. I've been posting stuff. I don't know if Ryan's had a chance to share the awesome flyer with his people, but
I gotta get on LinkedIn and do that today.
yeah, so y'all keep crushing out there, keep networking, finding more networking people, networking groups, after hour events. Get out there. Don't hide behind your company brand and think that it's just going to sell itself. Get yourself out there and promote. All right, y'all. Y'all take care.